Hi, good day everyone. My name is Qing. I'm an undergraduate student from Bachelor of Arts with Honours in English Language Studies in the University Kebangsaan Malaysia. My supervisor is Associate Prof. Dr. Kasriati Salehuddin. Today, I'll be presenting my paper with the topic English Vocabulary Acquisition among High Proficiency ESL students from the perspective of involvement load hypothesis. The English language is not just the world's lingua franca. It is a compulsory subject that is taught at all levels of Malaysian school. Word knowledge plays a crucial part in verbal exchange, and it is a must at all levels of language acquisition. Knowing a word generally entails knowledge of its form, meaning, and use. In the year of 1960, Noam Chomsky introduced language acquisition device as part of the nativist theory that every child is born with a device in their brain that enables them to learn and understand languages as they grow up. However, in reality, students who have exceeded their puberty age may have difficulty to learn new words. According to Sulaiman, Salehuddin, and Khairuddin in 2018, the insufficient vocabulary size among Malaysian university students is worrisome, as English is an integral tool to access knowledge, particularly in academic contexts. A variety of hypotheses have been proposed to expound word acquisition. Amongst the most significant and effective hypotheses is Loeffler and Haslin involvement load hypothesis. The involvement load hypothesis suggests that the retention of word knowledge relies upon the learner's involvement load, that is, how the students participated in the word acquisition process. Assessments with greater loads are more effective than those with lower loads. Thus, this study investigates the effectiveness of involvement load hypothesis in English vocabulary acquisition among high proficiency ESL students through three different task types, which are passage reading, gap filling, and sentence writing. The objectives of this research are, firstly, to identify the weight of different components of involvement load hypothesis, which are need search and evaluation through different tasks. And secondly, to compare and contrast the effectiveness of English vocabulary learning through different task types by using involvement load hypothesis as theoretical framework, based on the research questions stated in the slides. Loeffler and Haslin proposed the involvement load hypothesis from a motivational cognitive construct of involvement consisting of three basic components which are need search and evaluation. The load of a task is the sum of the prominence degree of the three factors. According to the involvement load hypothesis, the deeper level of processing devote to a more elaborative, durable, meaningful, and stronger memory traces. In short, the degree of word retention depends on the depth to which the information is first processed rather than the time spent on it. Many researchers discovered supportive proof of this hypothesis. For instance, Haslin and Loeffler, Bill, Keating, Kim, and so on, all discovered that tasks with higher involvement load led to better word retention. However, Foss in 2006, Liu in 2013, and Lee in 2014 questioned the possibility of the load hypothesis when their results of study failed to support the effectiveness of involvement load hypothesis in terms of word retention. This study adopted the mixed method research design in which both qualitative and quantitative methods of data collection were used. To collect primary data in quantitative method, 30 students from the BA ELS program under the Faculty of Social Science and Humanities, UKM, were participated in these studies. These 30 students are high English proficiency students who obtained at least a band 4 in their MUET test. They were randomly assigned into three groups to complete three different tasks. Group 1 were asked to complete task 1, which were passage reading with underlined target words. Group 2 were requested to complete task 2, which were gap filling with glosses provided. And Group 3 were required to complete task 3 for original sentence construction with the target words. To measure their English words learning, all participants of every group were given an immediate post-test after their task completion and another unexpected delayed post-test after 1 week. Google Form was used as a tool to gather participants' background information and to distribute the tasks and both post-tests. Later, 3 students from each group were randomly selected to participate in the retrospective interview to gain further insights into their views of the task type. The results of this study are meant to answer the research question. To answer the first research question, the analysis of both quantitative and qualitative data show that evaluation component of involvement load hypothesis weighed the most in terms of the effectiveness of English vocabulary acquisition among high English proficiency students. The mean score for the immediate post-test for both Group 2 and Group 3 were the highest, which were 9.8. Both tasks involve the evaluation components at different degrees, whereas gap filling involved only a moderate level of evaluation, while sentence writing involved a strong level of evaluation, as the task required engagement and comparison of lexical words in one's mind. The effectiveness of evaluation has been proven in the delayed post-test. The participants from Group 3 who did the sentence writing task acquired the highest mean score in both immediate and delayed post-tests, which were 9.8, followed by the participants from Group 2 who did the gap-filling task. Participants from Group 1 who had completed the passage reading task had the lowest mean scores, which were 9.1 in the delayed post-test. The qualitative data gathered from the semi-structured interview show that most respondents, which were 55.6% of them, felt that evaluation is the most important component among needs search and evaluation. Moreover, from the last question of the interview on the most effective tasks among passage reading, gap filling, and sentence writing, 8 out of 9 respondents, which were 88.9% of them, chose tasks with the evaluation component, which are gap filling and mainly sentence writing, as the most effective task type that promotes word learning. Responding to the second research question, this research has identified the most effective task type among passage reading, gap filling, and sentence writing in terms of vocabulary acquisition. Both quantitative and qualitative data supported that the task of sentence writing is more effective than the other 2 tasks. Besides, the highest mean score for both post-tests from the participants in Group 3, 55% of the interviewed respondents strongly believe that sentence writing has greatly helped them in the word retention, as it required them to be involved in a more in-depth thinking process in their mind to perform evaluation. In sum, the results were consistent with the involvement load hypothesis that tasks with higher involvement loads were associated with greater word retention. Participants in the sentence writing task group, which had the highest involvement index of 4, showed better word retention than those in gap filling tasks, which only had an involvement index of 2, who in turn performed better than participants in the passage reading with an involvement index of 0. Therefore, involvement load hypothesis is supported in this research. The results of this study demonstrates that sentence writing tasks with strong evaluation is highly effective in the retention of the 10 target words in both post-tests. Therefore, it is suggested that task type with higher involvement load and strong level of evaluation, like original sentence construction, can be involved in the process of vocabulary acquisition for students or self-learners. Future studies are needed to improve upon hypothesis and reach its full potential. For future study, it is suggested to involve more students for a larger sample size so that the result can be generalized. Besides, the possibility of more tasks with different combination of involvement load could be further explored with a longer time gap between the post-tests. That's all from me. Thank you.